Yeah, it's a neat little program. We can do tabletops pretty quick on it, drag tokens over, and whatever. So my computer's having major malfunctions. I'm gonna have to factory reset it. So for right now, I just don't have any of my resources. We need something. We'll pop up Roll20 or something though.
You know what's funny is this has happened twice to 2 DMs this week because Abby just got a new laptop and she hadn't transferred all her notes. So she was like, don't ask me anything about anything tonight.
I'm lucky enough to still have my OneNote, which is good. I just don't have my, virtual tabletop resources. And that's good. This is one of the better off-screen sessions. Yeah. So with that in mind, can we please get a recap from anyone who would like to offer one to catch us up?
Oh, is everyone looking at me? I guess I should open that tab.
Yeah, I would be willing to do it, but I'm not excited about it.
Or I'm happy to do it based on my recollection.
I can do it.
Okay, go ahead.
Do it, Alex.
Please.
All right. So we started off with the aftermath of the fight between the two vampire spawn had giving us trouble since the feast had begun. ALEXI, ZAPH, and WAES go and loot the bodies, look what they can find. ALEXI and ZAPH take the chest piece of Corinth, peeling the burnt undead skin off of the inside of the metal.
I think other guy.
Delarm.
Oh wait, no.
Yeah, Delarm had the armor. I actually misstated that in the session, so it's actually my fault if the notes are wrong. Yeah, armor from Delarm and a ring from Corinth.
Right. And while that was going on, REYLYNN was reading his note from the orphanage and learned some information about his early childhood and how he ended up, where he did in life. Much of it, new information coming back to him that he had not remembered. WAES went around and made sure there was no more vampires left, and we had confirmed that at least within the vicinity we were not able to find any remaining vampires. Let's see. Then we go to the orphanage. We talk to what's her name again?
Claudia Velasco.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Balako, you said?
Velasco. Close enough.
Gotcha. And thank her. REYLYNN thanks her and just for helping him as a child and for helping the kids there. But sorry, I'm kind of reading off of Chantel's notes.
My notes.
Yeah, because I remember most of it, but I don't. There's some of it that you wrote that I don't quite remember. I think that's her reminding us that still that there are kids missing that were never found. It was the hunters that were sent after them. I don't think they ever came back.
Totally forgot about them. Got to put them on the list of things we got to do.
That's right.
Yep. And then we all kind of give our best wishes to Miss Velasco and what's the word I'm looking for? Consolidations for the death of Milivoj?
Consolations.
Consolations,
Condolences,
right.
Yeah.
Condolences, thank you. That's the word.
Yeah, that's better. Not a consolation prize.
Yeah. I knew it was one of those words.
Well, you're still alive, so.
It's a good consolation.
Consolation for you.
And then after the orphanage, we go over to the inn. They're kind of roughed up. They had a few encounters over the night with vampires, but they all managed to survive. But one of the major issues is that their wine was destroyed, and still they have yet to have contact with their family, who is their source of wine. And she kind of they both the couple just kind of remind us that that's something that we need to do to help them out. The Voctor boys were all high and mighty, thinking that they saved the entire town, which, to their credit, they did help out. Perhaps without them, they might not have survived that night, but, you know, who knows. And after we talked to the family at the inn, we decided to go back to the Voctor house, return the boys, and talk to her about our task at hand now that the feast has been finished. IREENA wants to have a personal conversation with her and does. And while she's in there, WAES and ZAPH snoop around, finding a journal, talking about her relationship with Strahd, and kind of what her motives and goals are. In the room, separate room with IREENA, Lady Voctor tells her that, or maybe reminds her, I'm not sure if that was already something that we knew, that Isik is our real target at hand, and will be the one that we need to kill in order to get the Tome of Strahd. Though none of us exactly know this yet, or at least not for sure. And after the conversations are kind of wrapped up, oh wait, I think this was actually out of order.
I thought you were doing good.
Yeah, IREENA and ALEXI go off to do their own little task, which...
That's one way of putting it.
Yeah. Collecting the sword in two different ways.
Burying one sword and unburying another.
And I think this is the point where ZAPH did the fly around, seeing some of the stuff that we had already been described after the feast. Just the
you guys looked for Melvin a couple of times, but weren't able to find him, right?
Right. Yeah. And that's another thing that ZAPH was looking out for when he did the flyover. But we saw many dead guards, many dead civilians. Yeah. And lots of fires and destruction. Some of the major places we saw, the Reformation Center, bodies of prisoners were drained. That was the place that we saw the mysterious figure up in the top floor, but no one was to be found. Blinsky's toy shop was set on fire, but he and his pet monkey Piccolo were perfectly fine and safe. And I think we finished off right as everyone was like getting ready to meet back up.
Yep, absolutely. So let's clarify real quick where everyone's at. I had REYLYNN last going to the church, and I believe WAES was also accompanying him.
Correct.
Is that right? And ZAPH, what were you doing when you were completing your fly around?
I think I just agreed to go meet up with WAES and REYLYNN.
Okay, excellent. So we're going to say REYLYNN and WAES get to the church around 8 o'clock. That's about the time you're finishing up your fly around and heading back to the church. And outside the city gates, where it's very dark with no moonlight, no starlight, and no reflections of silvery animal eyes in the background, completely dark forest, are ALEXI and IREENA, who are buckling some belts and getting their garments situated and wiping some
being
dirt
slightly
off
awkward
various places. And it's not too long of a walk back to town. We'll pick it up with you two.
Sure. So I've told ALEXI prior to our encounter, as I was giving him the sword, everything that I learned from Lady
I
Voctor.
thought he was giving you the sword. Oh.
That was
Well,
afterwards.
it's a mutual sword handling.
Exchange.
We exchanged jabs.
Man, if y'all knew the conversations we had about this moment, I'm not going to disclose them, especially not on stream, but
There were dice rolls.
anyway, we'd been drinking. Anyway, so I tell him about everything that Lady Voctor told me and the fact that Isek is our actual target. And I say to him, I don't know what to do about it. I don't know if we can even tell REYLYNN. But we have to kill Isek tomorrow one way or another.
I mean, if he attacks us, we will have no choice but to take him down. So it would be a good idea if maybe we just provoke him somehow. And then we don't have to really tell REYLYNN. I don't know.
There are options. I could lead him away as the burgomaster. I could do something to him that makes him think the burgomaster is not the real burgomaster. And so he kills the burgomaster himself. So that is not on our hands. Or we just lead him away during the festival and we kill him. But I don't know. I think we can tell WAES, because WAES wants the tome.
Yes, I think he is willing to do whatever it takes to get that from Lady Voctor.
What about ZAPH?
Wait, so would I have...
You do not hear any of this.
Right.
Okay,
This is out in the middle of the woods.
We're alone.
got it.
I think we're
Still
alone now.
not responding.
There doesn't seem to be anyone around.
What about ZAPH?
I think that... I don't know. I think ZAPH might be up for it. What do you think?
I just don't know if he'd be up for lying to REYLYNN.
Yes. I do not know. Maybe we'd wait to tell him until we have to.
Okay.
Just so you guys know, I'm going to leave on my phone and join on my laptop.
Okay.
All right.
IREENA.
Are you guys walking back to town yet, or are you still sort of
we're
having a
we're
private
gonna
meeting?
start.
We're walking and talking, but like not fast. We're walking kind of at a leisurely pace so that we can chat.
No problem. Yeah, you still don't see any signs of activity on the road. And up ahead, whenever you're several hundred yards still away from town, you can see the glimmer of torchlight deep inside the town, but dark gates that still lay precariously open the way you left them.
IREENA, I am a little bit worried about this upcoming engagement with Strahd.
I don't think there will be an engagement.
I need to know your plan.
I don't have a plan. I am planless.
I can help you with anything. I will help you with anything. You tell me what you need and I will do this, but I cannot help you if I do not know what the plan is.
I will think on it.
Yeah, it sure would suck to be left in the dark about something.
Poor Ray.
Please just remember that I want to protect you. You are not putting me in danger. I am putting me in danger. You do not get to make the choices that I make. Do you know?
Yes, it seems you are very adept at sacrificing yourself for the people you love.
I am insistent upon it.
Noted.
But just know that whether you tell me or not, I will be involved and I will follow you if I have to. It will be safer for all of us if you inform me ahead of time.
I can promise I will try not to put any of you in danger.
That's a terrible promise. You cannot make that promise at all. What is this?
I will try. The try part is important.
You cannot prevent danger from finding us within this mist. You are not the danger woman.
I just kind of give him a kiss to shut him up, and then I take his hand and We walk back into town, heavy-hearted.
Mhm.
Right. As you guys are walking, does anyone have a passive perception over 15? Sorry, 15 or higher.
I doubt it.
Okay.
Nope, it's a 10. I'm not
All right.
wise.
For
That's
just
fine.
the two of them.
Yeah, just the two of them.
And we go through the town and make our way to the church.
You said you had a 14. At least with a 14, it's very cloudy, misty. The clouds are hanging very low tonight, almost like the fog has lifted and just maintained a thick blanket overhead. And up in the fog, you can hear squawks of birds traveling around.
I do not trust these birds. They look like secret-keeping birds.
If you want, you can make an active perception check, since you have taken notice of them.
I will look at them closer. I wonder if these are raven friends or if these are crows of the devil. Oh, and that is 23.
Okay, you notice the telltale sound, the very subtle sound of the crow, not the crows, I'm sorry, of the ravens clicking at each other in the clouds above. And it appears to be a busy night for raven travel as they fly in and out of the town at a higher frequency than normal.
Those are our raven friends.
Okay.
I wonder if Muriel is up there.
I hope so.
Do you think I should stop and try and talk to them, or should we keep going?
I think they are just getting the word out about what happened. That is my guess.
We can check in with the Mortakovs tomorrow.
Yes, we've been gone long enough. They will start to worry.
As we go through the gates, though, I want to try and see if I can close the gates behind us.
Absolutely. You remember that these were iron gates, pretty well oiled, and they had a locking mechanism that was picked earlier. So they currently are freely swinging open and shut. The proper key is nowhere in sight.
I just I close them, but I don't lock them.
Sure. You got it. Okay, you guys are now back in town. A grim reminder of the hell that you had left in this small sojourn out into the woods, and now you are back. There's still red stains in the streets, being pooled in the gutters. People hard at work as you get deeper into town, around the stockyard and further closer to the Blue Water Inn. Plenty of activity as loved ones continue to take care of their dead relatives, and others continue to strip down abandoned houses for materials, bars, wood, anything they can find to help reinforce their own homes. It's a sort of shift in resources now as the burnt down homes become fodder for the ones that remain. So plenty of activity around town, but not much notice of you except for the occasional awe-inspiring glance. You get one thank you from the street from a small child who's heard word of your tales already, traveling through the streets as the heroes of Vallachi. But as you get closer to the noble district, you get less appreciation and more distance. Back over at the church, REYLYNN and WAES arrive, knowing that ZAPH should be close behind. Anything you guys want to do once you arrive at the church?
Nothing particular, just help clean up and get it ready for people to come and
you do see more people now than there were before, as people finish either with their personal business or give up on their homes that they were trying to fix. You do continue to see stragglers coming in. There's maybe 40 or 50 or so in the church, in the pews right now, with another few being added every 30 minutes or so. And so, yeah, the cleanup still has plenty to do. There's body parts that are being shuffled out in big wheelbarrows out to the graveyard, and a makeshift pile has been formed out there. They're almost done clearing that, but no real work on the windows or the floors or sleeping arrangements for the people of the church for tonight has begun. WAES, anything that you want to do or that you're looking at here in the church tonight?
WAES is helping REYLYNN, making sure that REYLYNN sees him participating and helping with the kids and stuff, to see him as being a good teammate. Meanwhile, WAES is formulating a means to potentially kill the burgomaster, because he does want to get the tome. And he sees Itzek as a key component of that, and so sees him as a valuable part of his plan.
You mention any of that to REYLYNN, or do you keep that kind of to yourself for now, as you know the sensitive nature of REYLYNN's relationship?
While working with REYLYNN, WAES would want to be positive and promote the idea of REYLYNN reuniting with his brother, and be positive in promoting their relationship and offer to support it.
All right, so a lot of positivity from WAES as he encourages you and your brother Itzek to continue to get to know each other, and evidently no hard feelings, as he understands Itzek kind of lost control and even put WAES in some danger at the end of the fight, but also fled to keep everybody safe. So, apparently no hostility there from WAES towards your brother REYLYNN. Anything you want to talk about before ZAPH kind of shows back up after his patrol?
Actually, two things. Can I insight check against his deception?
Should do an insight check, and then Theo can tell you how much you're reading from it. So Theo, he's going to kind of check and see how well he's reading between the lines. You can measure it against your own deception, but ultimately you can sort of tell him what sort of clues he might be picking up or not.
It's an 18.
Got it. 18. Okay. So WAES is absolutely genuine in his interest, and you and your brother reconciling, you and your brother working together. You might sense that he did say something anti-burgomaster, and knowing Itzek's relationship to the burgomaster, you might feel like there might be some way that WAES, might want to enlist Itzek in perhaps taking out the burgomaster. Okay. But other than that, you sense that WAES is just, interested in you guys reconciling and doing what he can to support.
Yeah, fair enough. REYLYNN's a little distracted by the cleaning and worried about his brother, who ran off, just randomly throwing fireballs, something,
Everybody's a little bit worried about Itzek right now,
And then also distracted by the giant hole in the floor. So I am going to recruit some people to go get some wood so we can try and fix that.
A great point. Yeah, behind the altar is currently a hole that leads down to a sacred tomb with a sacred bones that the father has been trying to look after in the midst of his other responsibilities. But yes, you get some eager encouragement from the father to cover these up before too many people see them. He's done a good job of keeping people away from the altar and close to the pews. And it's not easy to see the hole, although it's clear to see the rubble and debris from the breaking of the boards and the digging down. But it's not too difficult to find some spare parts. In fact, there's some burnt down houses around the church that have plenty of supplies, wood, and other things. And you help the father patch up. It doesn't look like new. It is easy to see that there is patch repair work done, but it gets done in about 30 minutes.
Okay. I kind of tell people, be careful. There's some weak wood over here. I wouldn't want anyone hurting themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and WAES would be intimately involved with that operation. And if possible, if he managed to get REYLYNN aside for a second, it would be very quick, but it would be like much later. But we should really talk about ways to protect the bones of St. Andrew from future incursions.
Yes.
And then move apart. Just kind of... something needs to happen.
I think if we could get some of the bars off of the houses, like from the coffin maker's house or something, we might be able to reinforce underneath the wood planks.
Okay, and around the time you finished patching it up and warning everybody, have another conversation. ZAPH, if you're heading back to the church, this is about the time you'd be done with your patrol and heading back and finding WAES and REYLYNN finishing up their work behind the altar. Most of the body parts have been gone, although the plenty of mess still remains. And you see the father trying to hurry about handing out some spare blankets and tending to some minorly wounded people that have been coming in around you. You see about 50, 60 people currently in the church.
I kind of just walk over to WAES and or REYLYNN and just kind of say, well, the city sure is destroyed. Lots of fires and death and all the horrors you can imagine, but most of the people we care about are well, or at least in a place where they can recover.
We could have done more.
There's always more to do, but we are where we are. I'm just glad that we're alive, sort of.
I asked ZAPH, did you find anything out there? Did you see anything specific that we might have missed, or what did you see that we didn't, that we could?
Well,
where did you
Tell us
where
of
did you go
Blinsky.
when we? Yeah.
Yeah, so so Blinsky, you did check on. You saw that he was safe, but his shop was kind of burned down, although his workshop was still okay.
Right.
If there's anything that you maybe didn't get a chance to check on, you can ask me now with a perception check and maybe get a chance to learn something about it, since WAES is asking. And there was a lot of passive, peripheral observing going on during your flight over the city.
I think I checked on most of the encounters that we missed.
Mm-hmm.
But did I see any remnants of vampires or allies of Strahd? I guess that's a good thing to ask for.
Okay, go ahead and make a perception check. You don't have to subtract the 5 since the storm had ended during your flight.
8. 7 plus 1.
Okay. Unfortunately, although the haze has kind of lifted, you're still having tears in your eyes and furthermore debris and smoke and ash coming up from the smoldering remains that still make it tough. You kind of get a little in your eye, and it takes a good part of your flight to try and clear your vision back to that eagle focus that you're used to having. And you don't catch anything, although you do keep your ears open for screams, and you notice 0 sounds of alarm or anything other than the wailing of mourners. So you don't notice any danger in your flight across the city.
Other than some major landmarks that we had missed, I didn't really notice much. It was hard to see with multiple different factors. My own exhaustion playing a big part of it. I haven't slept in days, but
You shall
I'm
sleep
assuming
better tonight.
I sure do hope so. But regardless of that, I can mostly assume that pretty much everything's over. I don't think there's any vampires or anything left. There's a somewhat sense of peace, if you will, if you can even call it that.
Tell me, what of Isaac? Did you find him?
I did not. I noticed the burgomaster's mansion had an entire squadron of dead guards out front. Though Isaac is not among those guards. I imagine he's off somewhere recollecting himself after what happened it was a few hours ago, right?
Yeah. If that.
Yeah.
Yes, that was scary to see just how much control he didn't have over his own body.
The person, spirit thing inside of him seems to have a lot more
Yes.
violence than yours does.
Yes, I do not know if I could separate him from Khan, and fear that Khan will always be a bigger influence than me. It's a part of him. I don't expect that anyone could really understand, but it's...
How strongly does your... person? Spirit? How strong is your connection with it?
It is me. I am Colleen. Colleen is me. We share one body. It is not mine and it is not him. His. It is ours. And it sounds like Isaac might be giving more of that to Khan than a fair share, but I don't think there's a way to separate them either. I don't know how to help him. And without being able to talk to the others, I don't, with this fog, I don't know what to do.
Yes. Well, it pains me to say it, but it may help if we start considering the idea that releasing Isaac is a good way to end his mental suffering, if you know what I mean.
I'm so torn on that. He has hurt so many people, but
he hurts himself.
Met him. You've seen him. He is good. Might be a bit much, but he is salvageable.
No doubt, but I don't like to see a man suffer. His soul is torn between himself and an entity that which pulls at him with evil power. I can't imagine that feels good every single day.
I don't know that I could be a part of that.
I understand. Something that we have to talk to with the others. Perhaps there is a way to salvage him, but I think it's an option that we might have to consider.
As you guys are talking, you're back, tired from a long flight and the entire dump of adrenaline you've had since the feast. Finally settling down, you issue a great big yawn. ZAPH, please make a Constitution saving throw.
Raggy.
I didn't have you do this before, right? There was no consequences to missing the long rest when your long rest finished. Right.
No, okay. There was not. Yeah, you said as long as I'm not traveling around, but I imagine that's changed.
Right. Yeah, the adrenaline is gone, and finally your body and the stresses catch up to it potentially, depending on your Constitution.
That's probably a fail. It's a 9.
All right. You notice your mind getting fuzzy, your reflexes getting slower, and you have 1 level of exhaustion, disadvantage on ability checks. That will be fixed with a successful long rest.
Oh, God. This lack of sleep is catching up with me bad.
It has been a long day for the rest of us, I can only imagine.
And it's catching up to you guys. It's about 9 o'clock now. You got to the church around 8. You've done some repairs, had some conversations, checked in on the father. Still no sight of ALEXI and IREENA. Go ahead. I'm sorry if I cut you off, but I wanted to give you a time check.
Did you see ALEXI and IREENA out there? They should have been back by now.
I may have caught a glimpse of them leaving the gate, but I did not see where they went, and I did not see them come back.
Were they going towards the sword?
I do not know. I don't think I had a good sense of direction at the time. I was still cleaning my eyes.
I would say you'd probably know if they were heading towards the eastern gate. That's the gate you guys came in on, and that's the gate that, you buried the sword on the way in, right? Unless you guys were being super stealthy, I think they at least knew you were heading towards the eastern gate, and that seems like a logical conclusion.
And no one knows where I buried the sword.
Oh, my fault. Okay, that's the good correction.
But they do know we went to the east gate.
I thought we were around when you buried. Okay.
No, I think she's right. Yeah, she did that in private.
I left alone when I became Vlad. When you guys left dead IREENA behind.
Yeah.
When I became Vlad and I joined you, I did it in between.
Gotcha.
It was a clean break.
Okay. But they went to the east gate or whatever. I think I'm gonna go look for them. I'm starting to worry. You should get some rest though.
I can always send Dio out. Might be easier than going out there ourselves. He lacks the mental fog that I do right now.
Yes, I guess we could sit here for a few minutes and let him look around the city a bit.
Surely.
As we prepare beds for everyone. Or bedrolls at least.
Alright, so I'm gonna summon Dio out from the pocket dimension and have him fly out toward the east gate.
Alright. Dio comes back from a much calmer dimension, safer place. Obviously Dio seeing a lot of stuff, a little shell-shocked over the last 24 hours. Happy to not be drawn back into combat. Dio, he says, yes, I'm happy to scout. Let me go take a look for some people. Let's switch back and come back to you guys coming through the gates, probably around 9 o'clock, assuming you spent about an hour outside the gates. Anything else you wanted to do on your walk into town before Dio potentially spots you?
Man, an hour? That's like 58 minutes of digging up a sword and then the stuff?
Depends how shallow that sword got buried, if you know what I mean.
Not according to the Constitution rolls we rolled.
Maybe later. You can tell me how long you spend out there, though. I was just trying to tie the timeline together, but if you want to be later
fine.
than 9.
An hour's fine.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna fuck with gameplay.
Yeah, it's about 9 o'clock then.
You're
on mute, hon.
Yeah, an hour seems right.
Okay.
I think we'd be going to the just walking back to the church, right?
And it's one straight road basically from the eastern gate all the way through town to the western gate, and obviously the church is basically at the end of that road on the right, so leads you right through town. You get a chance to see the Blue Water Inn on your right and the general hubbub of what's going on. And if they're not having any intention to sneak, Dio can see them walking shoulder to shoulder, not being accosted or bothered in any way.
Yeah.
Holding hands about the time they get to the Blue Water Inn, just about 5-10 minutes away from the church.
All right, I let REYLYNN know. Oh, they look fine. They'll be here shortly.
Okay.
And we go straight to the church. I don't have any other stops to make.
Neither. We keep an eye out for Melvin as we're walking through town.
Okay. You guys can both make an active perception check.
Maybe we also take the long way around or something just to check.
Okay.
Oh, not terrible.
Well, that was awful.
16.
All right. With a 16, that's just good enough to see through the mist and fog a perfectly content Melvin chewing on a bale of hay in the Arisek stockyard where the Voctor stables are. There's Voctor horses there, and Melvin made his way to the stables from the smell of food and is munching away happily.
Oh, we go check on him and scritch him and are so happy to see him. I even cry a little.
Yeah. I'm really happy to see my friend Melvin and give him lots of scratches. And you say, IREENA, do you think we should bring him back to the church with us?
No, I think it is safe here. He is in a good place.
He sees you both, and you see his front legs take 2 steps towards you, but his back legs stay still, and his head's kind of jerked back as he takes another big bite of hay from the bale. And then finally his body will let him kind of bring his head over and get some pettance from you guys. And he's just stuffing himself. I know it's only been a couple of days out here on the road, but he's making the most of it while the buffet is open. And he is happy to see you all. He nuzzles you affectionately. You don't notice any sort of injuries on him.
Okay. Well, we give him lots of love, and then we move on.
Okay. So that's at the stockyard, and then Dio catches up with you guys around the Blue Water Inn and escorts you guys back into the church, where you see a tidier scene. Your group is all accounted for. Gertruda is safe upstairs, and the father is hard at work trying to make the most of the situation. There's sort of a plateau of people that stop trickling in around 10 o'clock, and the total number reaches around 70 inside the pews, but you don't hear much complaints. There's enough blankets and people leaning on each other that even the bloodstains on their clothes don't even become a conversation point. And the father makes sure you all have rooms upstairs. He gives you his, which adjoin to the room of Gertrude's. They sort of have a shared suite, and there's enough beds and cots in there for all of you. And he's going to keep himself busy all night tending to everybody downstairs.
Okay. And Alexi's wearing my ancestral sword.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. All right. Anything else? It's about 9:30 or so at night. Anything else you guys want to do before bedding down?
Are we
D&D
taking
times line
watches,
right
or-
perfectly with your lifetime.
There you go. Yeah.
Are we taking watches tonight?
I mean, we're in the church.
I will happily, again, being who I am, I will happily take 2 to 3 hours of watch. I would like at least an hour to do something completely different, though.
Okay.
So map this out for me. I am kind of watching it. Who's taking watch and when? So when do you begin, and who's doing the watches?
I want to take watch with WAES.
I'll do the first watch.
I'll take
IREENA and WAES. So you're going second. It sounds like. ALEXI, you're going first. ALEXI,
Well, I think
what
WAES needs his 4 hours first, so we're probably going to go third.
Okay,
I'll take
gotcha.
second.
WAES, you're doing your meditation first.
Yeah, I like to do my 4 hours first, and then I'll do the...
Okay, yeah, no problem. So who's taking first watch? That's ALEXI for what, 2 hours?
Yeah.
All right, who's next?
I'll take second.
ZAPH is not taking a watch. I'm sorry.
Stay asleep.
That's okay. I'll take third watch with WAES.
Yeah, that's after 4 hours. WAES and IREENA. Okay. So you guys are starting your first watch. You spend most of it walking around, either downstairs or you can stay in your room. It's your choice. There's a mild amount of noise from downstairs. Gertruda is actually asleep. She spent the entire day nervously clutching her fairy tale book, and by the time you guys got back at night and got upstairs, she was snoring through the joining bedroom door that is unlocked right now if you need to check on her.
I sleep with her. I go in there and I kind of like feel these horns on my head, and I look down at kind of the vines that are growing around her face. And then I lay down in bed and I kind of hold her to me.
Okay.
And I think of my little brother.
And she instinctively backs up into you, sensing the heat and the weight of your body. Her body, even unconsciously, is kind of sucked into it for warmth and comfort. So IREENA is in there while WAES begins his meditation, and ALEXI remains awake to protect the group. Anything you'd like to do in the 2 hours, ALEXI?
Well, during this time, I just want to really focus on my locket a lot. I'll be sitting downstairs because I feel like, the whole point of watch is to be watching. So I'm going to be downstairs. And I got a lot of reflecting to do. I'm going to find shiny surfaces and look at myself and try and examine all of my new features and really take in what has happened to me. And reflect on that while also just actively paying attention. And I'm going to be looking at my locket a lot and see, the picture of IREENA and, think about this huge night that has just occurred. I had a lot go on.
Plenty of time for introspection as everybody begins their snoring almost immediately as their head hits the pillows. And you are assuredly alone upstairs. Go ahead and make a perception check.
Ooh, nat 20. 24?
Very nice, very nice. So there's nothing concerning at all. You you're kind of picking up your new senses. You can smell things you've never smelled before as you flick your tongue out, and the new forked features of it seem to pull in molecules and give you textures to smells that you never experienced before. You can smell certainly the drying blood in mass quantities, but even deeper than that, you seem to pick out the diets of those that had bled and what they seemed to consume the day before, and a sharpness to your senses that kind of shocks you. There's no other kind of changes to your feelings, to your body right now, but the newly acquired smell is giving you an idea of experiences around you and the scene before of what's happened in places that you've never experienced before.
And it's also really interesting that, like, my tongue wants to flick out, but every time it does, I feel like I can smell something new.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So plenty of that to explore, as it's like having a sixth sense for the first time. And after 2 hours, you know that Ray is ready to be awoken.
Okay. I forgot. ZAPH also wanted to make his gilded skull. How long would that take?
Making a gilded skull, that is going to be an entire long rest to make the skull.
Gotcha. So I'm going to have to do that in one of our days that we have.
It doesn't have to be during a long rest, sorry, but an 8-hour period.
Right, yeah. I'm just trying to think, like, when we're even going to have that much time consecutively to even do that.
Can he do 2 hours and, then carry part of it with him and then do 2 hours, or does he have to do 8 hours to do it?
It's got to be in one time. The smelting, the building up the heat for the fire to smelt the gold, and then being able to use it in that time frame and coat it. Because the thing is, it's got to be gilded to such a quality that it's worth 300 gold pieces. If it's a piece of crap and not worth 300 gold pieces, it doesn't work as a component here. So yeah, in one stint. Yeah, and about 8 hours is what the process would take, and you need to have a roaring fire, and some of the basic equipment, which I think you already got from Blinsky's shop in order to do it.
Yeah.
The kitchen would suffice too, as far as a place for a very hot stoking fire.
Or maybe the Vistani might have a gilded skull that you could buy.
Maybe. So yeah, I guess I'm gonna hold off on that. Maybe wait for a day that we're traveling the whole time so I can just stay in the cart and do it. I'm not sure.
Okay. But very good. So you're gonna go ahead and take a nap right now. Alexi's done with her watch and comes to wake up REYLYNN as she's ready to finally hit this hay.
So before IREENA would have gone off to the other room, I would have asked her if it was okay if I woke her up about 10 minutes early so I could meditate, but we could still have some watch. So yeah, I would have just kind of spent the most of the hour, the first 50 minutes or so, kind of walking around the church, getting water for people, tending to people's wounds, all that kind of stuff, just practicing some medicine, talking with the father, etc., etc.
Okay, excellent. The father is honestly just grateful for similarly minded company. He's having to play confidant and certainly giving last rites for people and having to be the father for everybody. But with you, he feels a kinship and a brotherhood and a fellow man of the cloth. And he's able to let off some grievances to you to a kind ear and gain some strength from you as a fellow practitioner of the Morning Lord Lathander's faith. And go ahead and make any kind of charisma roll you want, depending on how you want to handle it. I mean, I'm guessing you're probably persuading him or something else, but he kind of looks to you for strength and wants to know if you have any advice on how to keep things going in this church over the next day or two, as people need his strength, but he's feeling tapped.
So the roll's an 18. So with that, I would just tell him, just remind him the sacrifices that he made tonight, how great of a job he did, and reminding him that he also needs to rest. He cannot help people if he is weary himself. Encouraging him to at least sit down, take maybe a quick nap or whatever, while I'm walking around and helping other people.
And he does, yeah. He'll lay down and definitely take a short rest at least, as he drinks some tea and collects himself and gets him to his private chamber to read some manuscripts from the Morning Lord, and takes an hour nap to get himself situated and know that the church and the bones of St. Andrew are both under good eye. And he definitely awakes in better spirits and better able to help those around him as he takes back over the reins of tending to those still awake and wandering into the church looking for safety.
So then, as my hour draws to a close, I'll go knock lightly on the door and sort of creak it open and gently wake IREENA up, being careful not to wake Gertrude up. And then head back to my bedroll so I can start a little bit of meditation.
Hey, IREENA, after 4 hours of sleep, you get nudged awake by Ray.
And I'll go and check on WAES, who should be coming out of his nap time right about now.
Mm-hmm. WAES, you done meditating after 4 hours?
Sorry, real quick. You did not have me roll a perception if you wanted to.
No, go ahead and roll a perception. Sorry about that.
23.
Okay. Similarly, no threats are detected, although you are very keen to notice certainly the fatigue on the father's face, which prompts the conversation to him about how he's doing. You're able to notice some of the people coming in with injuries that have been sort of previously overlooked. A broken ankle from somebody who was pretending that they weren't hurt, a gash that was still bleeding from another person, and you sort of advise some of the midwives who are tending to people to come help with the medicine. So while the father's asleep, you really keep an astute look on things and making sure people are well taken care of. No threats, though. That's the highlighted part. There is a big hole in the ceiling where raindrops occasionally fall in, but you hear nothing from crows, wolves, or vampire spawn, or any of the likely threats that would be in this area. Right. So it's about 2 a.m. IREENA is woken up groggy, not yet having enough sleep. WAES comes out of his meditation looking pretty revitalized. Anything you guys want to do on your watch?
Well, I'm gonna hang out for the first few minutes. Like, I'm gonna give it a good 20 minutes, like 10 minutes for his meditation. Then I'm gonna give him some time to fall asleep. REYLYNN?
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's right. So IREENA comes out actually 10 minutes before WAES comes out of his meditation, giving Ray a chance to go meditate. So Ray, what do you want to do there?
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing necessarily in particular, just similar to what I've been doing the last few nights. Just checking on Colleen. I've sort of talked to Colleen and know that he doesn't necessarily have any information for me that would help with Ezek, so it's more just kind of being there for each other and comforting each other and reconnecting at that pace and trying to get a feel for if Khan's presence that had been there before, if we're sort of alone or if he's returning back.
So when you, in the first minute of meditation, you quickly connect with Colleen, who is not in trouble, is not in danger, is more confused and just kind of lonely, and is happy when your consciousness and Kalheen to meet back up. It's sort of a lot of mental checking into how you're feeling and how you're doing, and a curiosity about what's been going on, unaware of all of the events of the day. So for the first minute or so, it's actually quite calm and reassuring as you get to know each other, and Kalheen is still riding on this high aura of this download of experiences and feelings that Kalheen got from outside. But as soon as your meditation starts and that connection re-engages, there's a uncomfortableness that sort of starts building, and a heat and a mugginess sort of that Kalheen starts complaining about, a stifling, sort of quality to the air as it gets thicker and steamier like a sauna. And after a few moments, Kalheen really starts complaining that it's getting really uncomfortable, that it was fine before, but it's getting incredibly hot. And that's weird because temperature is not normally a concern for Kalheen. It's sort of an overwhelming stifleness and a mugginess and a restriction that's feeling very uncomfortable right now.
Okay. So yeah, I'll just sort of, in this meditative plane, so to speak, sort of speak out and say, "God, is that you?"
You don't hear anything, but at the word "cod," the steam and the sauna-like mugginess erupts into flame as it ignites all around Kalheen, turning the entire environment into a flaming pit. And Kalheen is screaming.
Okay.
You don't experience any pain, but you are observing the plane in which Kalheen is in right now.
Okay. In the past, sort of out of character, you had mentioned that I might have some feeling of a way of sort of severing the link between COD and ourselves. Do I have any sense for how I would go about doing that? What it would take?
It would take a complete supplication of your willpower and a diving into the willpower of Kalheen. It wouldn't be an agreement. It wouldn't be a yes to COD and the deals that he's been making, but almost in opposition. It's almost a complete commitment into Kalheen that would leave you in an almost vegetative state while 100% of your willpower focuses on Kalheen's well-being.
Okay. I'm guessing I don't know what amount of time that would be and if it would affect my restful state.
No idea.
I'm gonna do it.
Oh, fuck.
Okay.
I love that.
So about 3 or 4 minutes into this meditation, after you've said COD, and every droplet of moisture in the air, every bit of dew erupts into napalm and swamps the entire environment in like a fire that you have to swim through. As a reaction, you give up concern for your current material being, the party, the relationships, the training that you've gotten, everything connected to the material plane. You drop and say, I'm going to put everything into saving Kalheen. And that's where we're going to take a break.
Welcome to Chaotic Good, REYLYNN. Whoa.
I mean, Kalheen.
That's chaotic. That's a chaotic choice.
Kalheen is me, and I am Kalheen, so...
And Strahd is the lamb.
I'm just, glad that I could get the reaction out of everyone else. And, welcome to your own, world or whatever.
Yeah, no, don't worry. As a DM, players do this to me all the time. I'm like, oh, fuck, what now?
Yeah, so...
I'm on a break. I'll be right back. I'll have stuff.
Right?
So don't count on me having any spell slots tomorrow. So hope you don't need any healing.
Fuck. But at least maybe you'll be out of it while we murder your brother.
Possible.
Or
and he may also be distracted.
Because he's already dead. Or Isek might already be dead because he's murdered COD.
Well, he's not murdering, he's severing.
I'm severing. I'm disconnecting their
COD's
ability to interact with Kalheen and myself.
Yeah. He's not killing him. He's just leaving him alone.
But depending on how
With
long this
Ezek.
lasts, Ezek would also be potentially distracted.
Or more powerful.
Perfect moment to shove a sword through his face.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh boy.
you know, if the DM approves it, this is kind of an intention that, you know, that severing after seeing the craziness that was going on would have been something on my mind, and the intention of going into this wasn't really necessarily planning on it, but you would have known that it was a potential option that I might have been doing at some point. So it might catch you by surprise that you can't wake me out of my meditative state, but you might have an idea of what's going on. Like I said, if Devin allows the sort of retcon on that particular piece. Man. Just watching
So much shit is going on.
Just watching Chantel eat those red vines or Twizzlers or whatever they are, and I'm like, oh, I
I
want
know.
some sweet snacks, and I got none.
Oh yeah, I got fruit snacks.
I have fruit snacks too. I might go get some. This is what like you just said, Doug. I watching her eat those. I'm like, oh my, I need candy. I'm hungry. I'm not really hungry. I just sweet tooth.
I've got M&Ms, but I want something like soft and chewy and sweet, you know?
Yeah. Also, I don't know whether or not I even want to keep the summon undead thing. Like, I'm kind of trying to consider, like, if it's even worth it.
How many?
How many what?
How many could you summon?
Just one at a time. It's one of the new Tasha's summoning spells where, like, you summon one singular, like, you know, kind of buffed up creature rather than a bunch of, you know, CR 1/4 zombies.
That's helpful.
And it has its uses. There are 3 different types. Kind of follows the theme of all the new Tasha summoning spells. Whenever you summon it, you can pick from a few different ones, and like different ones have different effects. There's one that has a chance to like poison each turn. There's one that has a really good ranged attack. There's one that can move through objects. Like with the ghost, it can just go through shit. Really good for like exploring if I want to, you know, use it for that reason.
I mean,
I'm
if we spent one day with the Vistani, you could do it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just don't. It's also concentration, which means like I'd be like not using Hex or Flaming Sphere, which are both pretty good combat options. I don't know. I'll keep it for now. I mean, I can't switch it out until I get a level up anyways, which would be, you know, a bit from now. So hopefully I at least get to use it in one combat before I have to decide whether or not I switch it out.
I mean, it's been a few things since we leveled up. It might be happening. I think when we get the tome would be my guess, sort of.
I think there's probably a few different things that might get us the next level. That might be the next thing,
Yeah.
but I think also completing just any of the given major side quests, I think.
Yeah. I think the tome is our next one that we plan on doing, I believe. But
We'll see. See how quickly we can get rid of Ezek.
This is gonna be a suck fest.
Yeah.
But I am down for spending the night or spending a whole day at the Vistani camp.
But the only way we do that is if we make sure Lady Voctor's in charge of Vallachi, because otherwise we won't be safe.
Yep. Well, it sounds like we have some work to do tomorrow.
All right, REYLYNN, you ready?
yeah, sure.
All right,
Nice,
so you are normally sensing Kalashtar through emotions rather than words. A loose connection that gains a familiarity enough and an instinct that you can feel what one another is feeling. But you don't really see each other, and you don't really talk to each other, and you've never really been in the same room. So being sucked in, being past that membrane of consciousness into Kalheen, who normally is actually attached to thousands of Kalashtar across the world before getting pulled into this mist where it's only you and Kalheen. Breaking through that membrane, you get pulled into the consciousness of Kalheen himself, and you gain for the first time a real perspective on the self-body image and existence of what this quarry is like. In the Discord, you get this sense of this is now your body, this very sort of amorphous, more ethereal than material sort of creature that isn't bound by physical limitations, but rather by its focus. And for now, you have taken over, hijacked that mental capability, and all of Kalheen is now your stats. All right, your stat block is now Kalheen in this physical form. And you experience an incredible scorching when you come into the body of Kalheen, and you immediately take 30 seconds. 13 points of fire damage as the environment around you rushes through any sort of barrier you're used to with your armor and normal defenses and immediately begins scalding you.
Alright, this is going to go great. Off my current hit points?
Yep. And at that point, let's roll initiative.
Oh my fucking god, man.
I got no spell slots. I got 7 hit points. Not going well, guys.
So why would this is a fucking mess? None of us know. We don't know. We're fucking walking around.
Good
It's
luck.
just me.
That is a 9 on the initiative of this other creature that seems to be all around you.
Alright, a 19.14.
All right. So after you take the first environmental damage and it senses a shift in this plane that it's in, the napalm that you're swimming in coalesces in front of you into a physical form. Not all of that, just 1 second.
Is everybody doing initiative or just...
Nope. Just
Man,
Raylan.
he's in his own brain.
And
We're still
before
sleeping,
you,
we're fucked.
before you is a creature that's about 15 feet tall if it were in the material plane, dripping with fire, beady red glowing lava eyes that leak out as if it's crying fire, and it's hurling flame left and right across this now still humid but fireless plane of existence. It is your turn.
Okay, do I have my inventory with me?
Yes. It doesn't really exist, but for the purposes of this, it's basically what you manifest as a real possibility of attacking, and your mind, your willpower makes it real for the purposes of attacking COD. But you don't have access to things you didn't have in real life.
But the healing potion that I had on me, do I have access to that?
Yes, you do.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and use that as my bonus action.
Okay. Yep, you quickly pull out a flask and try to get a quick breath recovery after the fire sucked all the oxygen out and scorched your skin.
Okay, and then, yeah, this is gonna go great, guys. Don't worry about me. God, he's gonna be resistant to that. I am going to...
For distance purposes, he's like 30 feet away from you right now. Standing shoulder to shoulder, just facing you. About 30 feet away in this plane.
Okay. I am going to tell him that I have seen what you have done to Ezek, and I do not want you here. Leave Kalheen and me alone immediately, and I will hold my action to hit him with one of my holy waters. I'll move to where he's 20 feet out and hold my action to throw one of the holy waters at him if he starts to become aggressive or seems like he is going to attack.
Okay. So you chug your potion, one quick flask down your throat, another potion or flask in your other hand poised to throw, and this creature opposite of you communicates with you through a voice that you can understand. It says, "Leave you alone. I'm hungry. You have my food." I'm allowing you a quick response if you want.
What is your food?
This Kalashtar you talk about. Cod was my first. I am nearly complete. I need another.
Well, you will need to find one somewhere else.
There will never be another. Kalashtar is mine. And that is his turn as he is focused on talking to you during that round.
Okay. Oh, this sucks. I'm going to continue to hold my action for the holy water, and just say there are other adventurers. You don't know when you will have another chance, but this will not be your chance. I will not let you have him, and stay within 20 feet if he did any movement or anything, but it didn't sound like he did.
No, he's staying still, sort of hulking and heaving up and down, flames, flicking off of his back. And you say he'll never be his. He believes you. He draws flame, not just from his own body and down his arm, but from the world around him. You see flames flicker out of nowhere and draw into his hand. And he hurls a flame at you, very similar to the one you saw Isak throwing around in the church earlier. And he makes a ranged attack.
So
this music is epic.
Yeah, I mean, as he would have started doing that.
Yep, you get your trigger before he finishes his flame.
So he's going to take 11 radiant damage.
Definitely. Okay. He definitely takes a sting as you see fire get quenched, sucking a void into the side of his face. And as he does, he sort of gets whipped around and tosses the flame at you. The effect of this, throwing him off kilter, he hasn't taken some sort of damage like this in a long time. He's been feeding and feeding and feeding. And this assault on him is completely unexpected as the first flame hurls by your head. But his other hand comes up and tosses a second. And that one misses too. He is discombobulated and is not able to be effective this round. Still 20 feet away, he rushes up to you, but stumbles. Can't seem to find his full movement on this as this holy water sort of shaking him. And it is now your turn as he finishes about 10 feet away from you.
Did I get a feeling for how that holy water affected him?
You really don't know. You don't have any kind of context, but he seemed hurt by it. I wouldn't say he seemed wounded by it. Oops, that's the wrong one. That's supposed to loop.
That's very cheerful.
Come on, loop.
So, feeling completely tapped and overwhelmed by everything, do I get a sense that Kalashtar will be in danger if I try to snap out of this?
You didn't even know Kalashtar was in this when you were in your conscious form, because meditating is how you connect. But you Yeah, you don't really know what it's going to be like for Colleen when you leave.
Okay.
You do get the impression as you sort of feel out with your mind that this form is escapable for you.
Okay.
As an action.
I'm gonna sort of look to Calheen and you know, he is the
basically
source
basically you are Kalashtar, but like mentally, you know, you can reach out and sort of
right. So yeah, he's like the source of my mind link. So obviously, you know, I'm going to tell him it has been too long of a day, but stay strong and I will return when I am more able to take this on. Please hold on.
Yeah, you just kind of you feel him steel his reserve, sort of clenching his fists and his eyes, waiting for the onrush of fire to come back to him as he says goodbye.
And I duck out. Oh.
Okay. And when you do, your eyes open from your meditation, sweat pouring from your pores, a start to anyone awake in the room. Let's see, who's IREENA. Basically, IREENA's getting ready and hears you sort of come out of this and you know, sweat droplets just fling from your drenched hair as you finish your meditation.
Are you all right?
I don't know. I might have just killed Kalheen.
What?
It's complicated. Cod is not Cod. Cod was devoured by some other creature. And I was able to go into that realm, but I am too exhausted. I can't fight him right now, and I had to leave, but if we both make it to the morning, I will return first thing.
Is there any other way to get rid of it than you entering that place?
I don't think so. If it's not Cod, it's not even linked to Isaac. It's
well, if Cod
else.
is gone, then it is inside him, no?
It is not. It is manipulating him, making him think that it is Cod. For all we know, this thing consumed Cod before Isaac even had a connection with Cod.
But he is the vessel, no?
I don't think so. I don't know for sure, but this creature has consumed many.
Make an insight check, please.
Yeah. 29 off a nat 20.
Oh my gosh. Cod's relationship to Isaac, you felt, was the same as your relationship to Kalheen, right? And while maybe outside the mist that means a collection of Kalashtar to choose from and to be a host for, in this plane, these Kalashtar have one brain, one head that they can be inside of. Kalheen doesn't have a chance to go to another body, and you suspect that it's the same for Cod and for any creature that may have devoured and taken the place of Cod.
So I get a sense that if we do something with Isaac, that this creature would not have a place to reside anymore.
Yeah, you're actually reminded quite a bit of your early morning experience at St. Andrew's Orphanage, where you had fought this demon that had been possessed in this locket and then found a place inside this young boy as a safe haven and could even take over the boy. But if the boy was no longer alive, right, then it's weaker outside this physical form, but could still potentially try to have other options. But it chooses to be in its stronger form while possessing, you know, somebody.
Yeah. Okay.
You got a nat 20, didn't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
So this reminds you, for some reason, but you don't quite know why, of ALEXI.
Okay. Like, of the locket, or just of ALEXI?
Just of ALEXI, like coming into your brain, ALEXI dying for IREENA, but coming back. Some of the changes. You don't make any direct connections, but you do just think of ALEXI in this time, and how could he have possibly made it back?
Okay. So I'll tell IREENA I don't know for sure. I mean, he has obviously jumped host to host. He may need a host, he may not. It might be like the demon that we fought earlier in the orphanage, where if he doesn't have a host, he comes to this realm, but
My wheels are spinning right now.
I don't know, and I'm like literally just starting to like fall asleep while still having this high of adrenaline at the same time.
I will also say, with a natural 20 insight check, you would also notice that IREENA's being pushy. Just a little more pushy.
Yeah.
About this concept.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I basically am gonna present the information that Ezek may or may not be a host, but I don't think he's needed necessarily. Which is sort of what I'm making reference to is at the orphanage, where the boy was a host, but he was not needed, and we were able to fight the creature outside of the host. And that's sort of the references and information that I am passing along from.
Yeah, and don't let it get lost in the first part that because you guys are the Kalashtar, it is very specific to you guys, right? That it's not like the boy in the sense that it could hop from host to host, right? But it's, it's you two. You're the one with Quarry.
Yeah,
it's just you two.
I don't provide that information.
Gotcha. All right.
I relate it more to the demon that we already fought.
Right, the more familiar foe. It's easier to relate to. Okay. So REYLYNN, exhausted from the near-death experience, falls asleep, basically explaining his story, and you guys allow him to, understanding that tomorrow is a new day, and IREENA and WAES are left with the watch. It's about 2 o'clock in the morning now. You guys can go ahead and make a perception check, please, for the time you're on watch.
I'm running to the bathroom real quick. Give me 30 seconds.
Yeah, no problem.
Well, mine's a 4, so I have things on my mind.
All right. Well, what is on your mind? What are you planning on doing with your time in the middle of the night, listening to the creaks and groans and occasional cry and wail from downstairs?
Oh, I'm gonna talk to WAES.
Okay. a little bit of team building exercise to plan.
Yeah. And then after, like, right towards the end of my watch, I'm probably going to wake up ZAPH and annoy him for a little bit, even though he's tired. So,
right.
Maybe, depending on how my conversation with WAES goes.
Well, shit. Since WAES is gone, let me just meta for a second. Wow, Doug, you went for it. You dove in. I was like, wow. All right, shit, let's fight. We talked about that like 3 months ago.
Uh-huh.
Well, this made things just a whole lot more interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
if/when we murder Ezek,
I mean,
that's a whole new level.
I am jumping right back in as soon as I finish my long rest, if I finish my long rest. So,
Well, that's gonna be interesting. I mean, why wouldn't we just fight him in the real world? I didn't say that as a character. I didn't say that.
All right, we're on a break.
I might in the morning if you decide to do this.
In REYLYNN's head, if he can take care of this threat outside of Ezek's physical presence, I can still save my brother.
Let's see if I can put up my persuasion or deception against your insight, and I can convince you that Ezek will die if you kill this pseudo-cod.
We'll have to wait
So-
until he's conscious, but for right now, only WAES is awake to, offer advice on that.
I'm just
Of
teasing,
the
Doug.
benefits of a long rest.
No, you still have to wait, right? You don't get it after 4 hours, I think.
You
Let me
still
double
need
check.
8 hours. You just only have
that's
to
right.
meditate for 4.
Are you sure? Because I'm pretty sure it says you can finish a long rest after backlog.
We
Yeah.
had
I
this
think we talked
conversation
about this
and there was a
again. Yeah,
ruling,
Yeah,
and I
there
don't
was a
remember what it
ruling.
was.
I think the ruling was you get it after 4 hours. Yep, you have benefits of a long rest after 4 hours of meditation. You're an elf, you're special.
I'll look it up just to be sure.
I think that's what we came to. So go ahead. You awake refreshed. Definitely the most refreshed of the group. Everyone else still seems very agitated, exhausted. And IREENA, although tired, not complete with her sleep cycles yet, seems eager to talk to you.
With my horns. I'm going to kind of be like, WAES, let's go check around downstairs, yes?
Sure, I say, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. We can do some
God, I
rounds.
hate you. Okay. And then I groggily take him down the stairs, and when we get to the bottom of the stairs, I'm going to look at him and I'm going to just tap my head.
And I'll respond telepathically. What's up?
We need to talk.
Okay, are we going to stand here on the stairs and stare at each other?
No, we
Or-
should probably just keep patrolling.
Okay, let's continue to walk about, and we can talk via our minds.
If you're
Perfect.
walking, you do find a father who has finally passed out in one of the pews, with his arm around somebody. There don't appear to be any waking souls down in the bottom floor right now.
Okay.
Looks like we're free to talk mentally, I say. Mentally.
Yeah, let's keep it that way. Listen, I talked to Lady Voctor, as you saw, and she's going to give us the tome. So we can get our hands on that tomorrow if you want.
I respond, are you sure that she will? Because I happen to be able to read a little bit about her diary, and she's very pro Strahd.
I think we understand each other. And I think she's better for this city for now until, you guys can kill her or whatever. Put somebody else in. But to get the Tome of Strahd, we have to kill Isek.
Kill Isek.
That is the mission.
Well, I intend to use him to kill the burgomaster.
Burgomaster is getting killed one way or another, but the deal for the Tome of Strahd is Isek.
Have you talked to REYLYNN about this?
I don't intend to, and I hope that you don't either.
Do you intend to fight him?
I had a few ideas. I'm sure you might have a few as well. Perhaps leading him away tomorrow.
No, I do
him.
not currently have ideas to kill Isek. That's you. Those are your ideas.
Okay. That is fair. We have to do it. WAES. We have to.
Why do you say that we have to do this?
Because that is how we get the tome, and that is how we get this city out from underneath that piece of shit.
I think that we can kill the burgomaster without killing Isek, and what?
Listen, there is
more.
more.
You say that Lady Wachter will give you the tome if you kill. What evidence does she demand?
Well, a dead Isek, I would assume. And her taking over the city.
Yeah, you do recall in the conversation that she demanded Isek's body.
Yes, she wants his body.
A burned body can be given.
There is more. Isek is not a good person. I have heard around town. He kills people for fun. He murders children. And then REYLYNN just woke up and told me this batshit crazy stuff. about how he's possessed by some demon. He is not good. And we cannot use him as a pawn. He is our biggest obstacle.
That's an interesting point of view, yeah.
Did I make a mistake telling you?
No, not at all. It's something that I'll have to think about. We
don't have a lot of time. We have to do
viewed
this tomorrow.
Itzek as our biggest obstacle in this endeavor. Absolutely not. He was not up there.
Well, he is the price we pay for the Tome of Strahd.
So what is your suggestion on how to do it then?
There are options. I could lead him away as the burgomaster, somewhere quiet where we can ambush him. We could try to maybe make him. I had considered making him kill the burgomaster through deception, whatever.
Great minds
Two
think
birds
alike.
with one stone. And then we either attack him by saying, oh, he killed the burgomaster in front of everyone, and maybe we get some support. That would have to happen at the festival. The other one would have to happen away from the festival. So if you have other ideas, you have 3 more hours to think about it.
Well, my idea had been to plant evidence that the burgomaster had separated Itzek and REYLYNN as children on purpose and cause Itzek to go into a rage and kill the burgomaster at some point.
My idea was to convince him that the real burgomaster is an imposter.
And how will that kill 2 birds with one stone by killing the big burgomaster and getting rid of Itzek?
Well, either he gets arrested or we attack him in the square and maybe get support from the crowd. Maybe, I don't know. I don't think they'll care, really.
Oh, sure. Sounds great. I'd say go for it.
Well, if we go for it, we all go for it. So think about it and we'll talk some more in the morning.
Okay.
You want to tell REYLYNN?
Nope. That's your job.
No, I don't want to tell REYLYNN. Okay, well, do you think I should tell ZAPH?
That's your idea.
Okay.
Speaking of ZAPH, can I please have you make a wisdom saving throw?
Oh, fuck!
But the church.
Seven.
My God, no.
Okay. IREENA and WAES, you've been kind of patrolling and walking around and talking for 45 minutes or so. Anything else you guys want to do with your watch? And can you remind me of your perception rolls?
Thanks, Joe.
Oh yeah, it was a 4.
That's right. WAES, did you make I don't think you made your perception roll for your watch. Can you do that?
Oh, sure. That's a 14, but I'm proficient, so I can roll a psychic die if it.
It's whatever, it's not necessarily like you failed something. It's just a perception roll to see how much you're noticing on graduating levels during your watch. So it's your choice. I'll let you roll a psychic dice if you want to. It'll be on your new long rest die, obviously.
Yeah, I'm fine. 14.
All right. Anything else you guys want to do on your watch?
No.
I'm contemplating this potential change in strategy, trying to figure out what IREENA's long-term strategy is because she's not explaining it and it doesn't jive with my long-term strategy.
That makes absolute sense.
trying to pay attention to everything going around, just checking to see if everybody's sleeping well, make sure no intrusions or trespassing, etc.
So you continue a pretty tight patrol, looking at the interior, checking the doors, the windows, helping with a little patchwork. Go ahead.
We would also check on our people because we are aware. I mean, that's really who
Sure. You can check on your people, no problem. Everybody looks like they are having fitful sleep, but nothing medically dangerous. They're shifting under the covers, but there's no profuse sweating, nothing like REYLYNN when he was in his meditation.
Okay.
All right. So you guys are getting close to 4 o'clock. It's almost time for changing of the guard. WAES, you're finishing up one of your perimeter patrols, and your ears pick up a sound. It's still very early. Some noise is heard out in the street, some knocks, not even a hint of daylight outside. And you take a look through the window, and your vision's strained because of the darkness, but your eyes adjust quickly. See about a dozen guards marching down the street, door to door, led by brutish captains that violently break down doors that don't open hastily enough. Isik accompanies the group, apparently fine from his night and patrolling the street along with everybody. Accompanying the captains is a ragtag collection of undersized guards wearing oversized equipment, much of it broken and bloodied. So right now they're still a couple hundred feet down the street, and they're kind of going door to door, knocking on doors and breaking down ones that don't open. What do you want to do?
I wish they could have waited a couple hours, damn it. I go over and give REYLYNN a little nudge and say, REYLYNN, wake up. We're going to need you. Your brother's leading the posse of troops breaking into people's houses looking for somebody. This might get ugly. We're going to need you. And then I go wake up everybody else. And tell everybody,
I'm not done the yet. Get out of
sorry
here.
to wake you up,
What
but
you doing?
we might be getting into some action here.
No, fuck off. No action. It's too early.
Not do anything.
Yeah, I can't afford to wake up. I haven't slept in 2 days.
I'm with them. I roll back over.
All right. WAES is having a hard time kind of pushing people over, and now even IREENA, who hadn't yet gone to sleep, so still watch time. With your lower perception, you're starting to hear those first sounds as the guards are only a few hundred feet away and still approaching the western end of the city. If you take a look out the window, you can see the same guards coming. You can also hear more of the guards now, and there's a lilt and a femininity to the calls that you find surprising. The majority of the town's security force has been replaced with new female guards, namely the widows of those that were slain in front of the burgomaster's house that ZAPH had seen sort of tending to the bodies and undressing the armor and taking care of them. Those freshman guards you can see peeling off with each captain approaching every door that still stands with hesitation. The voice of the captains ring out to a point where everybody can now hear if you're not asleep. Rise, rise! The Baron decrees you all rise and greet the day. The festival of the blazing sun will begin very soon. Everyone is ordered to report to the town square for a day of celebration and merriment. All will be well. Vallachi will be joyful again. And you see a swarm of slowly moving figures dragging their feet, gradually emerging from their scorched houses with makeshift security measures. Houses that stand vacant have already been cannibalized and transforming major sections of the city into shanty towns. The figures themselves are in deeper shambles than even their homes, emerging exhausted from a night of fighting fires and burying family and readying for the next attack. But they shuffle, ever dutifully, toward the town square. A loud crash at the front door of the church now as it's thrown open by a hulking captain. Isik
change into
a few
Vlad.
steps. Okay. Yeah,
Sorry.
You guys are still upstairs. That's good. So you can change up to Vlad. You hear this downstairs as the doors are thrown open by a captain and Isik following closely behind as you can kind of see them approaching the front of the church. All the guards have basically peeled off to other houses. And the captain shouts, "Awaken all who sleep inside. You are to report immediately to the Festival of the Blazing Sun. Truancy will be punished by lynching. There is no time to delay.
Comply or face the Reformation Center. To the guests of the Baron, your attendance is required immediately. You are needed backstage to set up your performances. There are a lot of sour faces out there. It better be good.
Are you fucking kidding me? This guy is having another fucking festival today. This fucking guy.
Hello?
I'm going to kill him. I'm going to kill him with my own hands.
Where are you?
Get up.
Hello, everybody.
Okay, I get
wake
up and I get
wake
dressed
up.
and I get my scabbard on.
Yeah.
How far away are we from getting the benefits of a long rest?
A couple hours. You guys are 6 hours into your long rest at this point.
Oh, you gotta be shitting me.
It's the worst.
Zaph can't wake up. Zaph won't wake up.
All right, Alexi, pick up Zaph. Let's go.
Maybe he can stay here.
No, we have to go.
Tell him I went into
Alright.
the woods looking for the
Over
hunters.
my shoulder. Let's go, Zaph. You have a performance. You said it.
Tell
You
him I
hear-
went into the woods looking for the hunters. I roll back over.
You guys can all hear very heavy footsteps on the stairs. Going upstairs. You guys are the only ones. You guys and Gertrude are the only ones upstairs, and the guards are currently approaching.
I'll walk out into the hall.
Okay, Vlad steps out, kind of getting, some clothes on.
They're coming. They're coming. It's
You
okay. They're still naked.
And
Give them a second.
You see the hulkish guard captain with a stubbly beard, salt and pepper features, very broad jaw, say, "Well, let's go. There were 5 of you. Where are you?" And Isak is behind, sort of trying to get by, but he doesn't seem to have the same command and control he normally has, an exhausted look on his face.
No, we're not going to start this day like this.
Okay, look, I put Zaph down. I say, look, go back to sleep, Zaph. I'll see what I can do. And I go into the hall and I say, look, there is no way the Baron is having a festival after that shit show last night, right?
That shit show is exactly why the Baron needs the festival right now, before there's a chance for a second attack.
Do you really believe in this?
Are you questioning the festivals? As you see him grabbing a
No,
pair of
he is
manacles
not.
off from the back of his belt.
No,
I'm
he is
asking if
not.
you're
He is
questioning
tired.
it. I am not telling you I am questioning it.
The
Are you?
Baron has requested his guest at the stage to prepare for the talent show. The town's happiness is the paramount responsibility today, and you all are the ones who are supposed to supply it. I will not show up with 4 out of 5 or 3 out of 5.
Well, your 5 out of 5 are going to be exhausted. All of our tricks are exhausted. All the fun things we can do are exhausted.
Well, welcome to Vallachi. We're all exhausted. It is that important. There is no
lean down.
exception.
In his face, and I just give him the most evil smile. Like just
Very
dead
good.
eyes smile.
Yes, keep that smile on for the festival. All will be well.
I think we have to go, Alexi.
We will meet you there.
That bitch is dead.
You see him kind of cross his foot over the other one and lean against
No more
the
Mr.
wall.
Nightstaff.
So we go back into the room.
And at this point, Isak is kind of recovered and pushes past the guard and says, "I need to see Ray. Where is he? Is he okay?"
He's still naked. Give him a damn moment.
I don't care. I need to see him.
And he bursts
I
into
stand in the door. I try to stand in the door
Are you
with my
standing
size.
the door where Gertruda is or the door where REYLYNN is?
Oh, fuck. I forgot about Gertruda. Where REYLYNN is.
All right. So he goes and sees that you're kind of blocking the way, and he goes and he kind of breaks through the flimsy door where Gertruda is. He takes a few steps inside. Hold on a second.
I'm going after him.
Okay. And when you enter, you notice him walking straight through an empty room into the adjoining door. You don't see Gertruda. And he steps through into the adjoining room where the rest of the party is. And he shouts, "REYLYNN! REYLYNN, there you are! You're okay!" And he dives into an embrace from basically sleeping REYLYNN.
I Groggle. I'm
You guys hear
okay for now, but if I don't get a couple more hours sleep, I may die. My health is draining as we speak. I need the rest.
I understand. Come, we can go scavenge. We can come scavenge the magic potion shop. I bet there's still some wrecked potions in there for you, but the Baron will not continue the festival without you. You must go, or else you'll be kicked out of town. I can't do anything if he tries to evict you all.
I cannot move. Just buy me 2 hours.
There is no time. You don't understand, brother. He's expecting us right now.
You guys hear Vlad fall to his knees in Gertruda's room and just give out like a guttural scream of anguish.
The guard outside says, "There's about 70 sad sacks of shit downstairs that are getting their stuff together to go to the festival. What's your fucking excuse?"
I reluctantly get up and start putting my shit on.
That's better. Everybody, that winged freak over there, get his ass up too. I'm getting fucking sick of this shit.
I ask Ezek to carry me.
Of course, brother.
Oh my god!
Whatever you need.
Is he bridal carrying him right now? Whatever you need.
Don't give a shit.
No, he's gonna army carry where he kind of throws the arms over his shoulder and he kind of grabs the top arm and pins it to his chest and kind of stands up with REYLYNN's. How much do you weigh with all your gear and everything, REYLYNN?
Let's see. Probably about 300 or so.
So let me see.
I don't remember how to get to my character weight. Where is that?
This is a suckfest.
All right, so he can drag, push, or lift twice his carrying capacity, which is 540 pounds. But he like kind of gets you up on his shoulder and he takes a couple of steps, but as he tries to walk at his normal pace that he would need to, he completely falls down with you on his back in a very loud crash of two very large men. I don't know if this is going to work. Can't you walk?
I'm under the 500 pounds, I thought.
He's carrying a lot of stuff too, though.
I will help you up.
If I walk, I may die within the next 2 hours.
Well, I don't understand, but there's going to be doctors at the festival. Let's get you to them.
Well, then get me to them. And I just
let us go.
Slump down.
Oh my god! Like a toddler.
All right, so so REYLYNN, I guess, gets one hand kind of grabbed, and he grabs ZAPH's hand too, and kind of drags him out of bed. And you guys are both laying on the floor right now, being dragged a few inches at a time by a very exhausted, very tired, but enthusiastic to see his brother alive, Ezek.
Good, let's wear him out.
Did ZAPH? I imagine at this point there's no way I'm continuing a long rest. Does he feel any effects of last night? Did he?
You don't feel any benefits of a long rest. And
right.
As you wake up, I need everybody to make, except for ZAPH and except for ALEXI. Sorry, not for ZAPH. No, everybody except for WAES and ALEXI make a Constitution saving throw. ALEXI got the benefits of a long rest late yesterday afternoon.
Well, I used all my good dice karma and got me a nat 1 for a 4.
All right, there's one level of exhaustion for you.
That's 15.
Okay, you managed just to keep enough going. You still feel very groggy from the last day, but you got at least enough shut-eye tonight to feel like you didn't degrade further in your health status.
Tides of chaos.
You're going with advantage? All right.
Good, because it's a natural 20 plus 6 for 26.
All right. You don't quite get the benefits of a long rest, but you do hop to, and you do feel your senses refocus and your normal sharpness reattune.
Do we get the benefits of a short rest?
Yes, everyone has the benefits of a short rest.
At least I have
would we be able to roll hit dice?
Sure. Absolutely.
Oh, I will make treats this morning.
We don't have time. They're literally dragging us out of the building.
Sorry, I didn't make treats last night.
Yeah, but if you want to roll hit dice for what you recovered during your short naps, go ahead.
Why are we moving?
It is festival day, says Isak.
Because the Baron says it is so.
You will all feel much better after the festival. They are joyous occasions.
I will feel much better when you stop yelling in my ear.
You all must be new to adventuring. This is not much. It's just a party.
Where is the coffee?
Yeah, nothing being served downstairs, unfortunately.
In the broken church.
Why aren't we at the Blue Water Inn? Oh boy.
Do you know why?
Isak speaks to the other guard and he says, "Go now, I will get them there. There are more in the slums to round up. I'll get the guests to the stage." And the other guard grunts and breaks off from Isak, heading back outside. Downstairs, you can hear him kind of shoving and encouraging with his boot a few more sleeping mounds in the pews to get outside as he finishes cleaning up downstairs and getting everybody on the street. And looking outside, you can, see basically a mass of slowly moving people headed east towards the town square. All right. As everybody heads out the church, let's take a second and let me turn on some music. Where's it at? Oh. Nobody else want to do anything else in the church, right? That was
no, but I do want to, as we're going out, I'm going to look at WAES.
Is Gertrude gone, by the way? Is she just not here?
Yes, but I haven't told you guys that quite yet.
I think she's hiding.
I mean...
That or someone picked her up and forced her to go to the festival.
All right, I guess you don't know. So you guys stumble out, obviously feeling unfocused and tired, exhausted, and probably not too happy with what's going on. And Isak leads you amongst the crowd over to the town square. The town square has been has undergone a complete revitalization in the few hours since you were last here. The stocks have been repurposed into a theatrical stage with a large backdrop curtain in the rear and extra side stairs to accommodate entrances and exits. However, the stocks themselves remain front and center on the stage. Colorful flags and banners have been hung carelessly from every nook of the town square. Corpses have been arranged in tidy piles on the sidewalks, and a dense wicker ball larger than the gates of Vallachi sits stage left, casting an ink blot shadow over the stage. You are brought to the back of the stage where there are a few rolling wardrobes, and you're encouraged by some volunteers to help pick out whatever costumes you might want for your talent show, and a few makeup people to help put a little rouge on your cheeks and make you look a little more cheery as you guys can pick out whatever you want to wear for the talent show.
I would have had if possible, a telepathic conversation with WAES as we're walking.
Yeah, go ahead.
Wait. So, do you link us?
We are linked.
So, does this change your thoughts? What do we do?
We'll respond to the situation as the situation merits. It seems at the moment that using Itzek to kill the burgomaster does seem to be the most plausible plan at this time. Although you may be able to lead him away by shifting into the burgomaster. So you just have to find your opportunity.
Well, yes, but right now we are low on everything.
Mm-hmm.
We're not prepared to fight him, I don't think.
Nope, which is why we should use them.
Well, do you think your plan can be done quickly, or do you think we should try it the other way?
No idea. We're basically flying by the seat of our pants right now, so.
Okay. This is not ideal.
I think we need REYLYNN's buy-in.
Yeah. Okay.
Does anybody want to talk to Isak on this trip, or is he just keeping REYLYNN company?
After having that interchange, I'll definitely go over and be generally positive and supportive while trying to probe Isak to see if I can determine where his mindset is, if his loyalties truly lie primarily with REYLYNN, or if I think that we'd have to kill him in order to get to the burgomaster.
Yeah, it's hard to suss out. He's very tired right now and seems to be splitting his focus between trying to make sure the festival goes well. He keeps bringing up concerns about security and whether or not they have enough men, and REYLYNN's own concern. He's asking about last night and how they made it out alive, and how he's feeling, and if he's uncomfortable and anything he can do. So he seems very focused both on the two tasks of keeping the town safe and keeping REYLYNN safe. And he doesn't have much to say about the Baron, but what he does, if you have any specific questions, he can try and answer.
Sure. My questions would first be about, without being too flattering, about his exploits the night before. And then I would start to move into questions about what he remembers about his and his,
like last night as a whole.
Yeah.
So he'll admit that when he left, he could not properly aim. He was getting disoriented and dizzy, and it was difficult to tell friend from foe. He was feeling weak enough that he wasn't going to be much help. And as he ran out into the rain and into the graveyard, he aimed himself away from civilization and towards the palisades walls. And before he knew it, he was waking up. He was unclothed, covered in soot and ash, but physically fine. And it seemed to be the early morning hours. He was in the burgomaster's backyard. He doesn't remember how he got there, but he stumbled inside, and there were already some activity from the guards getting ready. He was quickly able to throw on a new set of clothes and armor and come straight to the church.
I'll
Is
use
he
the opportunity.
talking about himself in third person like that?
I don't know. Probably not. This is me taking on the voice because we're talking about him.
I will be positive in my response about his resilience and his and praise his moving away from people when he realized that he was losing control, pointing out and prompting REYLYNN also to notice.
I mind link WAES and say, "Give me a second." And then I mind link over to Isak and say, "I know why you lost control of your own body, and you're not gonna want to hear this, but I must tell you if you are ready."
I'm ready to hear it, brother. Whatever you have to say.
I dove into our quarry's realm yesterday, and the creature that you call Cod is not Cod. It is a creature that devoured Cod. It is not who you think it is, and it is manipulating you and using you. But it is not Cod, brother.
I don't know what to think about this. You were with Colleen. How could you be with Colleen?
Our connection is strong.
It must be. Is there any chance you're being manipulated? There's great evil abound, brother, that could take over your mind.
This was very real. I was there. This was an intentional act that I did. And the creature told me that it consumed cod, and that it intends to consume Kalheen as well, and that it only needs one more quarry soul, and it will ascend, and I do not know what that means for the world, but it is not good for you, and it is definitely not good for me or anyone else around you.
Make a persuasion check with advantage.
20.
Okay, he says, there may be some truth to what you say. This cod, at least this version of cod, has been with me ever since I was a boy. How am I to know if it is the true cod or some imposter? Even now I feel a straining in my head, but I don't know what it means. But what I do know, brother, is that this friend, and it is a friend, has kept me alive my entire life. And whether it's cod or by some other name it calls itself, I am grateful for the protection it has given me, and it is by cod's strength that I will keep you safe.
God will not keep anybody safe, and I will not be around him.
God will not let me die, brother. He never has. I have been put in that situation too many times before, and God has always rescued me. How could I not have faith in a friend like that?
If God is in your life, then you will not be in mine.
That shocks him. And says, I don't want to hear you say that, brother. You can't leave my life. I've just found you.
Then you must denounce God.
He will still be a part of me. It's like denouncing my arm. The arm is still there.
But you must. I must know that he is not corrupting you, and that you are still good. You must denounce him.
I denounce him then. I don't care. I need to be by you, brother. We must be together as one. We must unite. You will protect me if God cannot.
I will look after you as best I can.
All right. Anybody else?
Can we... I mean, I don't necessarily assume we can hear any of this, but do we see them kind of talking?
Only as much as NPCs see you guys talking when you're doing it telepathically.
Okay.
Which is not much.
So that's fine, but mostly I just kind of watch them as they're walking together, and I like...
Yeah. You see this unspoken thing going on between them where they're darting their eyes kind of at the same time and gesturing in surprise. You can tell there's something going on between the two, but you have no idea what they're talking about or what the subjects might be.
Totally understandable, but I just kind of take them in, two brothers, one light, one dark, and for just a second I reconsider.
I ask Ezek to denounce Cod verbally.
And he responds verbally, so he's wrapped up in the conversation. There's no one else, according to him. He's just trying to convince you.
So you guys get that little bit of the conversation.
I want to make an insight check.
Okay, you hear him say, "I denounce Cod. Whatever it takes, brother. You will protect me."
Do I get any advantage on insight with my new powers?
No, especially because Isak himself is still very unfamiliar to you.
All right. Well, that was a 7.
All right. So what you hear is a declaration of a brother's love for his brother.
This is very sweet, I whisper to IREENA.
Can I insight check that?
Of course, if you want to, go ahead.
It is sweet.
25, sorry.
Okay. You hear desperation in his voice. You hear a desire to keep you close by. Ooh, that was untimely. This music, man, I'm not used to YouTube. We'll switch to that one. Yeah, so what you hear is desperation and a willingness to be flexible and negotiate. What you don't notice is any sort of actual physical change to him. His arm doesn't decrease in size. The fire doesn't go out of his eyes when he says, "I denounce COD," but you can see that he's passionate about it.
Okay.
And after our mental conversation and REYLYNN saying, "Wait a minute, I'm just over here walking along, saying not to pay attention, but paying intense attention to their figures and mannerisms." Mm-hmm. I'm waiting for REYLYNN to kind of give me an update here. At some point, depending on how long we're walking along in silence, I might kind of be like, "Well..."
I'll mind link each person individually and say, I think he can be saved. It is just COD that we need to worry about. Starting with WAES, since I sort of interrupted their conversation at a relevant point to what I had on my mind.
And I'll respond with, "How can we destroy COD and save Itzek?"
Only I can, but I must be rested.
All right. By that time, I think you guys are coming up to the stage. You get organized and get a few, props or costumes, or completely blow them off if you choose to. It's completely fine. But the opportunity is there to get ready. And after selecting your costumes and donning a bit of makeup to make your features pop for the crowd, you are invited to go join the general population until your queue. Go ahead.
ZAPH will adorn his original outfit of the bright blues and the blonde hair. I don't know if they have a wig or someone can use magic to do so.
Yeah,
but
they definitely have wigs.
And he's gonna take off his armor and go shirtless, the whole 9 yards. He's gonna look like he just came fresh from Mount Celestia.
Perfect.
Nice.
This broad-shouldered, beautiful celestial being really donning it up and definitely drawing the attention of the crowd, as it's even hard to look at anybody else in the party with ZAPH anywhere nearby. All right.
If we're gonna do this, I might as well go all out.
We don't even know what we're doing.
A show, don't you know? Entertainment.
As you all join the crowd, you see volunteers are busily handing out pails of loose pitch made from distilled coal tar and wolf's fat. The smell is atrocious, but nobody complains. Blank smiles are the uniform of the day. The Baron begins the commencement speech, alerting all to the festival start. A beautiful day it is, a beautiful day to celebrate that which makes us free, that which makes us proud, which makes us Vallachians. Last night was but a minor nuisance, brought upon us all by the unfortunate absences from last week's Wolf's Head Jamboree. Yes, a few citizens felt they had better things to do, and in their complacency arose the devil's doubt that we are strong. We'll never let it be doubted again. The sun will shine throughout the land, from Mount Gakis to Mount Baratok, from the Ser Falls to Yestard Hill, and those who serve the devil will cower. Come, faithful citizens, come and have a hand in the torch of freedom. Pour on the black oil like the misery that lives in your bones, and step away with the fire of happiness in your hearts. Let your smiles radiate and not be bothered by the past. All will be well. Come, come. Musicians, you get to be an example for us all. And the first Vallachians ascend the gruesome stage behind the burgomaster, and they throw their pails of oil on the colossal globe and pick up instruments. A few musicians begin to complain to a guard captain on stage that the wrong instruments have been provided, and they don't know how to play what's in front of them. The guard just says, "It's not my problem. Fall in line." That's enough to end any lingering concerns, and the burgomaster steps forward. "My friends, my loved ones, my bastion against the darkness, welcome to the festival of the blazing sun. Before we light the sky with our joy, let us take joy in one another. Dance, dance!" And the music begins playing as the orchestra begins putting together the best possible music that they can, and it's a mishmash of weird chords and a discordant melody, and definitely no theme or any sort of musical quality to it. But nevertheless, the burgomaster smiles even greater. Throughout the morning, the townsfolk are made to endure a program of poorly prepared musical numbers, enforced decoration appreciation walks, and lengthy sessions of prayer and off-key song by Father Lucian, and a 2-hour speech on security and obedience by the Baron Vallachi. Several shopkeepers set up stands in the square during this time, including Gadolf Belinsky, who displays soggy dolls to weary children. The Mardukov family hands out water to angry townsfolk who groan about the lack of wine. A few residents almost get violent, but Erwin keeps them subdued enough with reminders of how the Baron dislikes disturbances during his festivals. All of a sudden, the music is interrupted. Everyone turns to a violin player in the front row of the musicians, who's sobbing uncontrollably. It draws the attention of the other musicians, who still their bows and pipes to see what the matter is. Baron Vallachi turns to the violinist with a wide smile that almost seems feral in that moment. "What are you doing? This is a festival. Their happiness depends on you. Keep playing, damn you, or I'll drag you behind my horse. Alongside Ivanka." And you see another person already tied up from complaining about the festival, sort of behind the stage. And another musician, a young child with curly brown hair and sparkling blue eyes, steps forward and silently pats the crying man on the shoulder and interposes himself between the violinist and the burgomaster. The boy looks up with a pained smile and raises his violin and resumes playing. After several seconds, the orchestra joins in. A collective exhale from the audience is noticeable. The burgomaster's rage subsides and his smile grows wider. "Yes, yes, play, play!" He turns around to the audience. "Dance, dance, all will be well!" And he's screaming at them, "Here in Vallachi, the town of joy!" And as the music continues, you look out at the crowd filling the central square. A few people, some children, are dancing with gusto, but for the most part it is a sad, shuffling thing. Those who pair off turn in slow, precise circles. Many don't pair off at all and just swing their arms and hips limply with the rhythm. The burgomaster's constant yells to dance quicken their pace momentarily, but it's clear that it's more of a reflex than any emotional investment. When you turn back to the musicians, a different scene. Each and every one of them has a wide smile on their faces, which makes the tears streaming down their face all the more horrific. If you are proficient in insight or religion, please make a check in one of those. It's your choice.
23 insight.
24 insight.
Oh, nice. All right. Wait for another couple people.
Oh, sorry.
Not going to do it.
No, I'm not proficient in those.
Yeah, okay, gotcha.
Hold on, sorry. Insight.
Insight or religion?
17 insight.
All right, so for you three who have a better understanding of the connection between the human or just any humanoid body and the living spirit inside of it, you gain some understanding as you look at the faces of the instrumentalists, and the words of the Vistani from the Serpool kind of echo in your mind. Sad souls, and less of them than you would think. And in that moment, you realize the entire audience shuffling listlessly at the Vallachi's command are soulless, empty husks, and upon that small gallows stage stand almost every actual soul in Vallachi. And as you look in their crying, smiling eyes, you realize that deep down inside, in this instant, they now know it. The Baron continues shouting, "Dance." And that is where we're going to end it for tonight.
Oh man, I just wrote a monologue.
Good. We will hear it next time, as we will stop right there and pick up the rest of the Joyous Festival in our next session.
Devin, so you're saying that only the people on the stage have souls, everybody else is soulless husks?
Basically, the Martikov certainly have joy in their lives and a few individuals elsewhere. But after yesterday, there was an extreme thinning of the population of the soulful in this town, and many soulless left. And the ones
Okay,
who
and
know how to
when
play an
you-
instrument are largely the ones left, right? The only ones to stand up and play the music today are largely the ones who have that emotion in their souls.
Literally soulless, or just like other people just like
right.
trained?
That's what you mean by soulless, right? Like
The ones who
emotionless.
pass the check understand that it's literally soulless.
Wait, literally soulless?
Literally soulless.
Okay, so now I'm looking out at these sea of soulless persons, husks.
And they're interacting, they're going to their jobs, they're waking up in the morning, and they're the ones that are dressed in the drab clothes and that don't seem to respond when they're hurt and don't seem to cry whenever they're sad. They are like Gertruda's brother, who was being nibbled on by the hags without crying about it while Gertruda bawled in the cage next to him. He was soulless, and so is the vast majority of Wallachians dancing and watching the stage right now.
So the burgomaster has a soul?
He does. He does have a soul.
Makes me want to kill him even more.
All right, I'm going to leave you guys there, and we'll pick it up whenever we get a chance, or in 2 weeks, because we'll be doing Out of the Abyss next Tuesday, I hope, or the one shot.
Well, nothing about this session went right.
God damn it. Every time. Every fucking time.
Oh. I tried to get my rest.
Man.
I really did.
Yeah.
We all did. I mean, ZAPH is fucking screwed. He hasn't slept in so long. He doesn't know what planet he's on anymore.
Yeah, I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't think I've slept in like 3 days.
I can't believe how exhausted you're gonna be. This is crazy.
Well, technically one level of exhaustion, but we see how much that grows over time.
Oh.
I don't know if ZAPH is even going to be able to give his full speech. He had that whole like written word.
Well, you're at disadvantage, right?
Well, that's considering if I had, I guess I would have like persuasion checks intermittent if I'm trying to actually use
performance.
it. Well, yeah, I'm not really like playing music though. I'm just using my own words.
Still a performance piece. We're all doing performances.
Are performing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Their words.
Yeah, I guess performance would just be how.
REYLYNN, his name's Yeza, right?
Yeska.
Yeska. Yeza's from Critical Role.
I kind of want to take my battle axe, my great axe, and go to where the stocks are, and are those? Is that where we are at the stockades?
Yeah.
Yeah, and like start like smashing it and trying to chop them down. That's what.
Well,
I'm
they
doing
removed the
right
stocks.
now.
That's where the stage is now.
I thought the stocks were
But aren't
like
the stocks still
center
there?
of the stage.
Yep, the stocks are
Yeah,
front and
the
center
stocks
of
are
the
still there.
stage.
That's right.
So that's gonna probably be my feat of strength.
Nice.
One way to do it.
I've got an offensive speech.
I actually wrote a little speech tonight too. I was inspired by the annoyingness that is the burgomaster.
Samesies. Y'all, I don't care what happens. We have to kill this motherfucker before we leave. He
sick or
just
not,
woke us up.
burgomaster must
He's
die.
sick or not, that guy's dying. I'll wring his neck myself.
Yeah. Fuck
and I have
that
a
guy.
-1 strength.
It'll take a while.
It's a minor annoyance to him. It's like, get your hand off of me. Get your
I'm wearing a turtleneck. I hate turtlenecks.
But it's a giant Goliath.
Oh man, yeah.
Well, it didn't go as bad as my thing went last night, so that's positive. But this is still really bad. We can't fucking kill you, Isak, like this.
The positive part is that I get my spell slots back. Hooray!
Yeah.
Which means I can.
I have nothing. Zero.
So the sorceress who does not at all.
I have nothing.
Yeah, nothing here as well.
I have some cantrips.
Well, I'm doing
I
all right.
imagine-
Selling your soul has its benefits.
I imagine ZAPH might want to go first, since mine's the least repulsive.
Yeah, that seems like you'd be a good opening act. Like get everybody in the mood.
We'll get increasingly violent.
Mine is just kind of like thought provoking. It's a fun story that ends with a bit of like open ended. Is this really how you want to live? Type of question.
So I was thinking of doing sleight of hand for mine.
Oh, what you gonna
And
steal?
Part of what I was gonna do was I was going to juggle, and while juggling, I would find children and pull coins out of their ears and give them coins. It would probably only cost me about 10 copper, I guess.
Oh, that's cool.
That's cute. You should go early on also.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
should
So
probably go.
I could do that first.
Okay, and
Give a
yeah,
bunch of
I'm
kids a
using
bunch of
first,
coppers and stuff, so they'd be really happy.
and
Mhm.
then
Juice it up.
emotional
Yeah, and
speech
then
after.
depending, I could also perhaps give some of the more destitute or sadder looking parents perhaps some like a gold or two here and there, right?
Hmm.
Hey, that would be a really great way to start earning some goodwill in the crowd. I think that's an excellent idea. The more the
I have a
merrier. Give
bunch
as
of
much
money,
gold as you
so-
can. Especially to the ones that are guards. Make sure the guards know that we have money.
Well, these new guards are not very loyal. That's good.
Exactly. And their husbands just died for
That's
this
part of
guy's
the
cause.
speech.
They're being
I kinda-
forced into this.
So I kind of want to go after Alexi destroys the stockade. So with that, I mean, I guess REYLYNN, you'd want to go last, right? Because you have the sunlight. Oh, you can't make sunlight.
Yeah, I was relying on a spell for my thing, so
Oh no!
I'm
You could help me
gonna-
cut down the stocks. That would be all right.
No, we gotta have
I'm not
something.
strength. I don't know.
I don't have any. I have dancing lights.
REYLYNN, is it
Do you have divine intervention?
wisdom? What's your
Wisdom.
Wisdom?
I mean, I've got good animal handling, so
You could
It's all
go get
performance,
Marvin.
guys.
Yeah, go get Melvin.
Oh,
Melvin.
it's all performance.
So no matter
You
what,
don't
it's
get to pick the
performance.
skill,
Got
it's
it.
going to be performance.
Have them.
I have a +0, so I am fine.
Yeah. All right. Well, go stress over that for the next 2 weeks or week.
I would
then
rather play
you-
sooner than later if we can get an extra session in,
Yeah.
because I feel like I have no problem with the way the game's paced, but I feel like a lot of us want to get the story
Yeah.
going.
Yeah, I think so.